if you watched our previous episode on Gavin Newsom, it was about how he vetoed a bill that would have given unemployment insurance to the striking workers in California. Now, we kind of got into a debate on here, and I wanted to make it a separate video. Ryan's kind of on Ryan here's on the side that we shouldn't have. He should have vetoed. He doesn't want that. I think Corey's a little bit more in the center, but leaning towards there. And TJ was about to give his reasoning, I believe, as to why he would support this bill. So I'll let TJ just take it off from there, and we'll go with the rest of the video here.
Well, I just wanted to address the concern that this could be manipulated by the unions and that, we could keep the strike going forever. I think that kind of assumes that your average union is going to be happy with $400 a week for their employees. And I'm sorry, that is not a desirable outcome for anybody. That is desperation pay right there. Yeah. So that kind of reminds me of people say, well, we can't have taxpayers paying for Medicare for all because people will just be going to the doctor for all the time. Like, it's like, no, are
we really going to compare healthcare to people choosing to go on strike?
Yeah, you need money to live, right? I mean, if you don't have it, you will die. I don't see why it's that far-fetched.
I think I'm sorry. I just think it really depends on the merits of the strike. It really depends on the merits of the strike. If we're looking at an industry where like they're getting their wages are not keeping up with the cost of living, and their labor is producing so much profit for these companies, and they're just getting pennies, then they have to do what they have to do to get what they have to get. But not every single strike is going to be the same. Not every single set of demands are going to be the same. And I think the whole point that I'm making is I don't 100% go against this bill. I can see where Newsom's thoughts are as far as the budget and everything like that, as Ryan was pointing out. But I can also see how politically, how do you sell that? As Ryan was also talking about, like we're talking about taxpayers essentially footing the bill for a strike indirectly. And so what I think is, with Newsom, if he wants to run for higher office, if he wants to go for the presidency, California is already being accused of doing all kinds of crazy things to their laws, and there's all sorts of things that, and a lot of it is, conjecture, a lot of it is propaganda. But how does he run for president? And then, California did this. Well, then all the conservatives have to say is, this guy is going to take all your federal tax dollars and fund strikes all over the country when he becomes president. That's all they have to say. And then,
which is a winning message. That's
not a winning message for moderates.
That is not a winning message.
It's not a winning, and that's not a winning message for the vast majority of taxpayers who are not members of unions, which the majority of taxpayers are not members of unions. Now, they may ideally like to see more money in their paychecks. They may ideally align themselves with most labor unions. But if they're not a member of the union and they won't benefit from that, and their money's going towards it, I mean, I don't see how you sell that politically to the whole country. I can see how you can sell it to California, but I don't see how you sell that politically to the Deep South, the Midwest, red states, battleground states.
And if your polling indicates that you can't do that, like there's two questions here. There's two questions. Is it politically viable, and is it the economically correct thing to do?
Yes.
I think it's politically viable, but I'll totally concede that maybe it isn't. But if it isn't, then your polling tells you it isn't, and you just go when you run for president. We did that in California. It's a California thing. The people of California voted for this. The people of California supported it. The elected representatives put it on my table, and I wasn't going to deny the will of the people. I think that's a perfectly fine line that he can totally pivot to, which neutralizes the political impact of passing this bill. Now, on the economic side of things, to me, it is always beneficial to give unemployment insurance to people who are striking because it allows them to have more negotiating power and actually find the value of their labor, whereas they have to accept because what we're saying is they don't have access to that money. They have to accept a deal for less than the value of their labor, or else they will lose their home, or else they will whatever. And if that is the case, then you're putting less money in the hands of people who are more likely to spend it, and you're putting it in the hands of the wealthy elite who are not going to spend it, and it's going to not stimulate the economy. So that is my reasoning as to why I think that laws like this are beneficial. And I'm interested to know why you think it is economically damaging for taxpayers to choose to give their money to support striking workers.
Well, I think it's important to point out that you aren't really doing it for the economics. You're doing it for the reason that you said right there, is that you're doing it to give them a bargaining chip. You want taxpayers like us to fund a bargaining chip for striking workers. Yeah, no.
No, but no. Like you're.
And then okay, so you want to look at it from a budget standpoint. Let's look at it from a budget standpoint.
Are you saying you don't care if it's better for us, or are you saying you don't think it is better for us? Either it is better for the economy or worse. Look,
I don't think taxpayers should be funding people striking. Period.
Okay, but why? Like what? Yeah. Like, to me, the only question is it better for the economy or worse? If it's better, then we should. If it's worse, then we shouldn't.
I don't think it's necessarily better for the economy because of the debt. Who's going to pay for it? You're asking taxpayers to pay for it. So that is debt.
It's let's say it is $7 million, like they say, and let's say it's 10 times more than that. Let's say they take advantage of it to the scale of 10 times more. It's $70 million.
Okay.
The taxpayers in California gave $750 million to the Los Angeles Rams to build a stadium that was going to get built either way. So if we're talking about like, are we wasting money? Like this is on the scale of nothing. And the benefit we get from it is that worst case scenario, we give workers a bargaining chip. Like, I don't understand why you would be against that if like you're comparing it to other things that we waste our money on.
I think that ultimately, well, first of all, whenever someone, and look, I agree, spending money on a football stadium is not as good of an investment as something like unemployment. Totally agree with that. However, I don't think it's like I think it's a little bit of a false equivalency. I don't think you can say just because, we wasted money on that, let's spend money on this. It's like,
that's what about it. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, perhaps maybe we should striking to healthcare, paying for healthcare.
Once again, and people need money to survive, so it is not.
You're arguing interest.
I'm sorry,
it's the choice.
Not.
They're making the choice.
No, they're making the choice.
You make the choice. You eat a bunch of bad food to become obese. You go to the doctor. I mean, there's choices. Yeah,
okay. So when you get unemployment, let's look at it this way: when you get unemployment, if you walk out of your job, you don't get unemployment. True. If you get fired from your job, you get unemployment. They're walking out on their job to get better pay. We can support that and still say that it's not right for taxpayers to fit the bill.
But again, like why? Like what is the negative economic impact of that?
Debt. More debt.
That isn't inherently negative.
Like Corey said, from a political standpoint, this is like you might as well shoot yourself in the foot. Because you just lost every moderate, you just lost every Republican, and you just lost anybody that doesn't understand what the purpose of a union is.
I'll concede you the political standpoint because I could very easily.
Okay, well, if we don't win elections, then none of this matters.
But I'm asking you what you think. Like I'm genuinely trying to get to the bottom of this question because I'm not understanding your line of reasoning here. And the question is, what like you're saying debt, but debt is equal whether it's going to healthcare or going to anything else. The money is exactly the same. It doesn't matter what it's going to.
Let's take the money that you want to spend on that and let's pay for healthcare for kids. Then we can start taxpayer funding.
You're saying I'm saying if there's infinite money. I'm saying we can have the money. I'm saying do you think we will get more money in return on investment?
You're not talking in reality, and you're making false equivalencies.
I'm asking, do you think it would be, you're saying it would be bad for the economy if we did this? So my question is, what is your reasoning? I'm saying it's a bad precedent
to set. I'm saying that you have to absolutely factor in the debt that it adds. I'm saying that you absolutely have to factor in the unknowns, which is when somebody goes on strike, just like the actors that are on strike now, it's been 3 months. Do we know when that's going to end? So when you're making budgetary decisions and you don't know when something's going to end and you're just like, well, fuck it, we'll just write the blank check. And then on top of it, if you want to talk about the politics of it, that's one of the biggest things that everybody bashes us over the heads with, is that we're liberals that want to give everything for free. So if you want to lose elections and shit like that, yeah, let's support this. Absolutely.
Again.
But at the end of the day, when somebody walks out of their job,
you just made,
I'm not going to pay for that.
Every argument you just made could be said for free healthcare. The reason that we support universal healthcare is because it is economically beneficial. It is cheaper.
Healthcare is not optional. Healthcare is not optional. Walking out of a job is optional. Whatever that reason is.
It's like having the job is optional. Everything is optional. Like I don't understand. I'm saying you can make we don't say we should have universal health care because it's not optional. That's not the reason that we support it. We support it because it is the better option.
Because people fucking die without it.
Yes, and that is worth the
yes.
cost we're paying for it.
Yes,
and so,
but you know what? When you walk out of a job for a
less
strike,
money.
that is not the same fucking thing. That's not the same thing as somebody getting cancer and not being able to pay for it.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that the person
you're using it for your argument. Do you not see that? That you're comparing things that have nothing to do with this? You're comparing things that are not optional to things that are. Right,
no. I'm not comparing. I'm saying that the reason that I support this.
Jesus Christ! I didn't expect that. Wow,
Corey, do you think that was like
I
out of line there?
No, I want to see where you guys were going with that. I mean, I don't know, some people can't debate. I guess
I didn't think that would I genuinely, because he wouldn't answer the question. Like I didn't understand, and I'm trying to understand, like, because I think he's a little more liberal than I am, but like.
You don't say. No,
I maybe he's thinking that the reason we support universal healthcare is because it's the right, morally good thing to do.
Yeah, which I think he was like arguing it from like a
does he think that universal healthcare is bad for us and we should do it anyway because it will stop people from dying? Like, is that what he thinks?
I think that it was just the equivalency of. I think his argument was healthcare isn't an optional thing. You're gonna have to have it at some point as you get older, and striking while. I mean, you need the money to survive. You need the job to survive. If you're in a job and you're not making the right kind of money, theoretically,
you'll survive.
You could get another job. You could theoretically go somewhere else that's going to pay you right. And so I guess he's seeing it as comparing something that in his mind isn't optional versus something that is optional. And I think that's where the disconnect was. That
sure, and I get that. Which is why I was trying to tell him that isn't the thing. Like, to me, it's the same steps of slavery concept that we had earlier. Where,
that's how I see it too.
If you're accepting less money because they're coercing you to do something,
yeah,
that's exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he understood it with the immigrants, but he doesn't seem to understand it with striking workers, which is odd to me.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Corey. Man, that's as far as I know, that's never happened before.
It has never even.
Okay, I was gonna say I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
wow.
No, that's yeah.
Anyway, well, does anyone have final thoughts?
This may not be an episode after all. I guess.
I don't know.
We'll have a conversation about whether or not this is an episode. Corey, I'm actually so. We're going to cut it there. Thank you guys for watching. If this even ends up becoming an episode, I want to put it out there because I am a fucking, I like chaos. But we'll see what happens there. But thank you guys for watching this long. Subscribe, like the channel. If you want to see more debates like this, I like debates, and maybe we can seek it out if our audience wants it. So let us know.